Hey, stick around. We're going to have Chris Cappaulli from Dads on Couches.
It's Cappaulli. Tune in.
Welcome to the Tunepact Podcast. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Lee Pierce. And today we're lucky enough to be joined by Chris Cappaulli, a.k.a. Cappaulli from Dads on Couches. Chris, thanks for joining us. Could you take a minute to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thank you so much, Lee. Really excited to be here. My name is Chris. Cappaulli is my stage name. And I am in an amazing dad punk rock band called Dads on Couches. And Lee asked me to come on and have a little chat with him about a couple different things revolving around dad punk and being a father and all sorts of other good things. So I can't thank you enough for giving me an opportunity. I love what you're doing. I love that I finally, we've talked so much online, but I've never actually had a chance to put the voice to the face, and I'm ecstatic to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you because I appreciate people who are appreciative. That's a mouthful. But no, I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Now, we bounced around a couple different ideas for topics, and who knows if it's even going to stick to the one we decided. We'll just have to see where it goes. But like you mentioned, I mean, Dads on Couches, the name says it all. A lot of clients I have, a lot of people I work with are on both sides of it. They've got full lives outside of the music industry, and some it's the music industry is their life, or it's them and their spouse together, so it's music 24/7. And you are on that other half. You've got a full-time job, you go to school, you've got wife, kids, and you do the band. And I got to give you props because I've worked with a lot of artists in the last 30 years, and a lot of them have way more time to do it because music is their job. They don't have all the other parts of life. You put more time in and accomplish more with it as a, I don't want to say hobby, but as I'm doing it that way, then a lot of people I see that have all the time in the world. And kudos to you because you are always out there. You're booking shows, you're recording, you're on social media marketing and promoting yourself. And it's just awesome to see. And I don't know how you do it. How do you even attempt to try to split that much time?
I mean, it's tough. And you said earlier about hobby, and it always starts off that way, right? Like you get a group of people together, and you're like, we all love to play music, we all are talented. Let's sit down and get something going. And then for us, like I'm lucky and fortunate that the people I surround myself and associate myself with all have been grinding music forever, right? Like I've been playing since high school. I just turned 40, so I mean this has been an ongoing thing most of my life, but it's a passion. Like that's what's really exciting for me is like yes, I have a job, and yes, I am happily married with kids, a proud father, but like I need that something extra, that something to decompress, something to kind of have to build, create, and I guess just when things get really heavy and tough and life just kind of beats you down, what do you have to go to? And for some people it's reading, and some people it's Dungeons and Dragons, and for me it's always been music. So it's passion. Like I have a drive to want to perform. I have a drive to want to sing in front of people. I have a drive to write music because it makes me happy. We were joking earlier a little bit about what we do for therapy, right? If you know what I'm talking about. Like it's therapeutic for me too. Like when life gets terrible, I can write about it and I can sing about it and I can let all of this aggression and anger and frustration and fear out on stage. But I have to be able to juggle, like you said, a full-time job. I'm going back to school. My family owns and operates a local funeral home. And I recently decided that I wanted to go back to school to become a funeral director. So I'm in the midst of doing some like prerequisite classes at a local college. But once that's done, I'm hoping by the end of 2026, I can then start my bachelor program, which is another 2 years. It'll be at Wayne State University in Detroit. But it's tough. It's tough finding time to carve out to do music, to get together, with the dads and practice and record and playing shows. And the beauty of it is everybody in my band is in the same position that I'm in. We are all, dads. We are all have jobs. We all have that daily grind. So this is a great outlet for us. But I'm also very careful because it's not like a goof off thing either, though. It's not just because there are some people that just, jam bands. We get together once or twice a month, and that's cool and that's great and that's still wonderful. But for me, like, I'm also hungry. Like, I want to be in front of people. I want to play bigger venues. I want, our songs to blow up. So, we take it seriously, but it is a passion. It is something we enjoy doing. I'm also very close to all the people in my band, which I'm fortunate and blessed to. Most of the bands that I've been in throughout the course of my band history has either been my brothers or close friends of my brothers. So it's easy to work with people that you know and trust. I guess I'm in a situation where I'm lucky that I work with people that I'm related to, that I love and care about. And I'm also in bands and involved with music with people that I love and care about and trust. And so it does really make my life easier, even though I know that's not always the case for people that work with family members. And not everybody gets along with their family. That's not the case here. Like, that's been fortunately a blessing for me that's helped make this work. Because my job does work around my schedule and my kids and stuff like that. And they're also flexible with the band, too. Like, obviously, I still have a job to do at the end of the day, but as long as I'm transparent and open with them about it and have a conversation, they're flexible and they're supportive of it too. So just all around, it's good stuff. It's good soup. So
Congrats on going back to school. It ain't easy when you go. Actually, I found it was easier for me though because I'm mature enough to handle it when I finally went back to school. I wasn't 29. Well, how many years? 31 years ago when I graduated high school. It wasn't going to happen. I tried. I made it like 8 days, I think, and that was it. So, I mean, well, and then again, let's get back to what you were talking about. Your brother, Dr. Nick, is in the band too, and that's got to help you with being able to split time. Because especially when you've got wife, kids, you've got all these responsibilities, and it's not like you're running off to hang out with the guys. You're actually going to spend time with your brother. So it's a good thing. It's family. Family is close. So that's got to help ease it a little bit when it comes to splitting time too.
it does. It does. And a couple fun facts here about me. So Dr. Nick is in our band. Dr. Nick is currently playing bass, but he's also been back and forth with bass and guitar. He can play both. He also has a phenomenal singing voice. He's the screamer in the band. So if you ever listen to our music, Nick is not always, but usually the one that does. He can scream, sing fluently without like throwing out his throat or anything. I can scream too. It's more yelling though. If you hear like more of a yell, that's me. A scream where it's a little higher, like metally sounding, that's Dr. Nick. Me is more of a very stern screaming that like a parent yelling at their kid outside in the backyard.
I would say it's a dad yell. You don't have the metal scream in you. You got the dad yell knocked out though, man.
Which, and the funny thing is that's actually newfound for me too, because none of the other bands I've ever been in, I ever yelled or screamed in at all, any variation of that. So like, I'm still learning how to do that without completely shredding my voice. And sometimes I nail it, sometimes I don't. And I find the longer I do a song, like my body does naturally kind of figure out how to adjust to it. But anytime we write a new song, if I start yelling by the end of that practice session or whatever, I'm garbage because of that, which is also why when I go to concerts, Dr. Nick being my brother, he's twins with Benny from The Boy Detective, right? So we go to shows, and like oftentimes we'll go and we'll see Benny, and the whole time Dr. Nick and I are singing along and being crazy. He's fine the end of the night. I can't talk for 3 days because I'm screaming, and it's I'm misusing my voice, my vocal folds, whatever. So. But circling back to what you said, yes, being in a band with Dr. Nick is phenomenal because we also like work together with like childcare. Like our kids are all very close. Dr. Nick, Benny, and myself, like we all live really, really close by. So our kids always hang out. So if there's a situation where Dr. Nick and I are involved in something band-wise, Benny will jump in and help. Also, when Benny's busy doing stuff with the Boy Detective, which they're always doing stuff and they're always on the go and busy, like we step in and help too. So like we have a really cool community. Like aside from the fact that we're all musicians and we support each other musically, we also like we're family, so we're there for the kids, we're there for each other, and we're there for the business. Also, Dr. Nick is actually a doctor, so we don't just call him Dr. Nick as a stage name. He is a doctor of doctor of clinical psychology and specializing in grief and loss. So he is a legit doctor. So we call him Dr. Nick because he is a legit doctor. I just want to put that out there because
Yes.
Somebody asked me that the other day, and I was like, I never thought about that. That Dr. Chud from the Misfits, is he really a doctor?
Yeah.
Like Nick is legitimately a doctor. So.
Well, and what is it, Dr. Nick? Wasn't that the name of the one shyster on Simpsons?
Hey, everybody! Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
was it
Dr. Nick? Absolutely.
Yeah, so people
Good
probably
call.
are like, oh, that's funny. But but yes, he is a legit doctor. You guys, everybody in your family's got so much going on, it's hard to keep track of it all.
I like that. I didn't even think of because the funny thing is Benny's band and my band also both like flirt and play around with like Simpsons logos and designs and stuff. I never thought of Dr. Nick, and that actually makes complete sense. Because we even, fun fact, Dr. Nick is the one who came up with Dads on Couches. If you take away the words and it's just the, what do you call it when it's just the letters, a monogram or whatever, it's Doc. Dads on Couches is literally DOC, it's Doc, and that was part, he had admitted that kind of after the fact that like, yeah, I kind of like played the whole doctor thing, and I'm like, that's brilliant. It's one extra like layer and element of us pouring ourselves into the band. I thought that was really cool. But a Dr. Nick design would be awesome from Simpsons.
That would be great. Or even just have it so a picture of the band and just Photoshop Dr. Nick over him. just badly too. It would make it that much funnier.
That's amazing. That is because we have a cool Homer logo right now, and with him on the couch, and that makes sense. Dads on couches. He's a quintessential dad. But I love the Dr. Nick. I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant.
That's why I'm the marketing guy. That's why I'm the marketing guy. But so back to Dads on Couches. First, it's a great name. I love it. The artwork for the EP is awesome. It goes right along with it. And what I love the most is it's something you said earlier about, of course, everything starts out as a hobby, but for you needed that connection, something to get everything out, whether it's good or bad, or you just need an outlet. Sometimes you just need to create. And what I love is, because everyone hears Dads on Couches and they're going to expect like, what's the one? There's a bunch of middle-aged dad jam band type thing, something like that, but you guys aren't. You're extremely talented musicians. You guys are tight. I mean, it's really good, well produced, and I think it's awesome. And then your live show. I haven't been lucky enough to see you guys live, but I watch anytime you're posting videos. I'm always watching them. So if the 100 views, it might just be me watching it over and over again. I'm sorry, but numbers are numbers. It don't matter.
99 are Lee, and then 1 is somebody.
Exactly. But I love seeing it because it's not what you're expected. You are expected Dads on Couches. You're not expected someone to be taking it as serious as you guys do and putting in the effort you guys do. Because with a band like Dads on Couches, you guys could do an acoustic set sitting on a couch.
Sure.
But you don't. You guys are exhausted 3 songs in. That might be because you're dads, but also because of the effort you put in. And it's really cool to see, especially the amount of time you put into social media and community, the music community too, not just online, but like the whole, Michigan ska scene. You guys aren't ska band, but you're still part of that scene because of your brother Benny and Boyd, who's been on the show. But it's it's again trying to split the time. Do you find it easier if you're in those like online communities because then those people are also helping you promote and doing word of mouth? Do you find that helps quite a bit?
I do. I'm going to be honest. I think social media is insanely important right now in our day and age. Just for music, you need to be creating and doing something online. Now, there are some bands that kill it. They know exactly what they're doing, and they have these amazing shorts and sizzlers and all this stuff where I'm blown away at the editing and the time and the amount and the effort. And then you see bands that don't do anything. You'll see their page in 8 months. They may have updated their profile pic, and that's it. I'm going to be honest, and not to toot my own horn. I do most of the social media, but also for me, it worked out really well because I like social media to begin with. I think it's a great opportunity to share, celebrate, and support things. I am not. I try really hard not to be negative. I'm not online bad mouthing people, starting fights or rhetoric. My idea is our world is already terrifying and things are just going to hell. So anything I can do to bring a smile to somebody's face or share something that somebody worked really hard on, that's healing to me. That, in my opinion, that's helping heal, right? So one of the big things for me is with Benny's band, I asked him a while back, would you and your band be okay with me doing a tribute page for you guys? I see that it doesn't exist yet. And I think that would be something really cool. Like, I live right next to you. I can put exclusive stuff up there that people aren't going to see. And it's helping promote and celebrate you guys, blah, blah, blah. And he was great about it. He's awesome about it, as was the rest of their band. They were flattered. They were happy. So I did it. Because I did that, though, he started introducing me to these, like, key amazing people that are, running in parts of different groups that, you brought Michigan ska is incredible. There are so many people in Michigan ska that I absolutely adore. In my tribute page for the Boy Detective, Dorcas Malorcas Brigade, that is a big reason why I'm friends with a lot of them. Like, I've become connected to a lot of them. But I took it a step further. Like, the first show that I had an opportunity to meet these people, I went out of my way to talk to every single one of them. And I would call them by name because I was like, these are people I've been talking to for months that I've never heard their voice before. I've seen only pictures on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media thing I was on at the time. So, like, I always use the Van Ashes. I'm very close to Chris and Sarah Van Ash. I think they're amazing people. I think they're wonderful people. He's got Pick It Up Media. So I've had tons of conversations with him, and he invited us to. He always does this big summer bash with all these punk bands. Splish Splash Bash. We got invited last year. We got invited this year, and I love them. I love those people. They're incredible. He helps us find shows. He plugs our name in. I mean, and I feel bad because there's been a handful of shows that he's tried to hook us up with that it didn't work out because somebody was gone on work or it was somebody's kid's birthday, and he was totally understanding and cool about it. But, like, the type of group like that, the type of I can't even explain the type of bond that I see with people like that. They go to concerts together. They share videos. They share stories. They have private chats where they'll talk. And I've been lucky enough to be privy to a couple of these where they'll have these private chats before they'll go to a festival. They'll go to a big ska festival, and they're all like, kind of, there's one or two people at point, and they're kind of talking like, where are we going? What are we doing? How are we orchestrating this? And I'm like, this is incredible. It's a community that literally build each other up. They see each other play. They help each other with shows. And I remember talking to my band. I'm like, we would be a fool to not be a part of this. We would be a fool to not make connections with these people, even though we're not a ska band, because we're not. It doesn't matter. We have connections to a lot of ska bands. We're supporting a lot of ska bands. And a lot of the Michigan ska, a lot of these people that are in there, they love punk too. So it's great that we're close enough, not being a ska band, that at least we can share that common ground with punk, and other things too, metal and hip hop and stuff. Like, obviously there's huge range there, but I love Michigan ska. I think they're phenomenal people. So they're always people that I will give a shout out to. They're always groups that I will tell people that you need to go talk to them. You need to meet them. They make flags. I mean, they're amazing. They're just the best fans you could ever get are people like Michigan ska, in my opinion. And I'm blown away by them.
Absolutely. So. I first came across them from the Dorcas Malorcas group, is how I first came across any of the people from Michigan ska. And I haven't had a chance to meet any of them except for the band members from Boy Detective when I saw them in Columbus last month. So it's insane the amount of support they all have for each other, not just the bands that are part of the Michigan music scene, but for the other fans. And it's really cool seeing a community like that. Like you mentioned, like, you like to put positive things out there, and social media is important nowadays because of the negativity and limiting access to our media and stuff like that is happening. So, like Joe Biafra said, become the media. Make your own groups. Find your tribe on social media and strengthen it. And it's impressive to see what it can do on a personal level, but then on a professional level, especially in an industry like any industry, especially entertainment industry, music industry, having those social media groups. And because then they become community groups. Yes, you chat online, but these are people that you'll see when you run to the store. These are people that are going to shoot you a text message on your birthday. It becomes way more than just a social media group in an online community. And it's really awesome to see what you've done with that and utilizing that. And like I said, it definitely helps cut down time because like you can post something in one group and then 10 people from that group are sharing it elsewhere already. And that's nothing better than when you're posting something professionally and like you wake up the next day and there's like 17 shares. Even you're like, I didn't share it. That's awesome. Like there's nothing better than when your fans are doing the work for you. You know, that's why like merchandise isn't so important and stuff like that. But yeah, if you can get your fan base to become your friends, then your fans are the ones trying to sell your band as much as you are. And there's nothing better than that. I mean, that's any company. You know, I love when I see like big brands having their own merchandise and stuff like that. It's like, are you kidding me? You just got someone to pay $20 for a T-shirt to wear your store brand name over around to advertise for you. That's just brilliant. And it's so cool to see, especially in the music industry and the community that you got there in Michigan. It's just awesome.
You brought up how, like, in going back to Michigan Sky, you brought up how these communities will like send you a message or call you on your birthday, which is totally true. Fun fact: I want to shout out another couple that's part of that group. Allie and Jacob Fry, amazing people. For Christmas last year, Allie sent us a Christmas. Well, Allie and Jacob sent us a Christmas card, like to my house, and it had stickers and a cool message. And like, I was like, "Who does this? This is incredible!" Like, it's humbling. It's humbling, like that people care enough about you that they're going to send. Because nobody sends physical mail anymore, right? Like that's not. I mean, it happens, but it's not a thing. So for somebody to take the time out to be like, "Hey, I thought about enough of you to make a Christmas card," which I spent the money to get the card, put a personal message in it, throw some stickers and other cool things in it, and send it to your house. That's unbelievable. That's like not heard of. And that's like the whole thing is like what I think what people don't realize about social media is you can have those kind of connections and you can have those kind of people in your back pocket if you put the time out, if you reach out, if you participate. They always, Jess Grossman, Eric and Punk Rock Ryan from Ska-Gazine, they always talk about making the scene, creating a scene, or be the scene. I think that's what they say is be the scene, right?
I'd prefer to create a scene myself.
Create the scene, but that's the right. I like what you. Yes, I got that. But you know what I mean? Like if I want to get something out of it, I need to put into it more than I expect to get out of it, right? And I think when you have these groups like Michigan Ska, it's because you have a lot of selfless people that they care more about the others than they do themselves, and because they're that way, there's love, there's positivity, there's inclusivity, however you say that, all spread around. And it just continues to grow and grow and build this society and this community. So I had to say the Christmas card because that blew my mind. That was not something that was expected. That was not something, I was dumbfounded by that because it was just such a kind gesture, such a personal touch.
I love hearing stories like that because it's like I've never been one to. Well, I used to be. I'm kind of the extrovert, introvert. You'd be surprised. Like I'm not a big in-person person. Like even like I told your brother, I said, dude, I'm gonna drive 18 hours round trip to come to Columbus to see you. If there ain't a chair, I'm leaving. I literally, if I don't have someplace comfortable I'm not a live music person. I'm not a big crowd person. I'll drive 18 hours, say hi, shake your hand, and get back in the car and fucking leave. Right. I'm not a big out and about person, but it's fun to see the community you can create online because like you said about the Christmas card, that has fuck all to do with music. That's a community that just happens to like some of the same bands. And those people do things like that in whether it's the Dorcas Malorcas group or the Punkerton Street Team or Michigan Ska or any of these groups, the Punk Rock Dads group. That's how I met Brandon to begin with, or I wouldn't know who any of you guys are. So, so it's without these, people are in these groups because they're looking for other good people. And that's the thing, is they just happen to all have either the same taste in music or something like that. But these people aren't doing this because you're part of the Michigan music scene. They're doing this because you're a good person too, and it's cool. I mean, I wish people would spend more time actually doing a little research online and finding more supportive people and supportive groups out there. I mean, I've made a lot of friends, and not just like professional network connections, but through different Facebook support groups. Like the Punk Rock Dads group, I think it's called Punk Dads United now. Shout out, guys. But I talk to people from all over the country more than I talk to people that live a block away or people that I've grown up with that live in a half hour away from me now. It's, first of all, it's easier. You don't have that awkward face to face stuff. Ew. But you could really, well, it's nice because online communities are bigger than what's around you. You get involved with people that you wouldn't normally ever have a chance to meet. People from different walks of life, different communities, and things like that. Because we're only as smart as what we can learn. If you don't move around, you're not going to learn anything because you just get the same shit recycled over and over and over again. And that's just terrifying. I think there's way too much of that going on.
Small mindedness is terrifying. That's the problem. Like,
in herd mentality, especially in herd mentality.
Yup. We have a big, beautiful country. Go explore it. Go check places.
Yes.
But do one better. If you can afford it, get out of the country. Go see other countries. There's amazing countries. There's amazing places to go and visit. Unfortunately have not had an opportunity to get around a lot, but I've spent a decent amount of time in Canada. There's just, go out and meet new people and learn different cultures, and like it'll do you good. I promise. Go to that, and that's one of the. And I'm not saying everybody has to go to college, and I know that's but that was also for me was eye opening when I went to college. Like just all the different types of ideologies and learning about different types of religions and in different like tribes and groups and stuff like. That's healthy. Learn, educate yourself. Like knowledge is, I know it's cliche, but knowledge is power. Like get out there and learn about other people. Like there's some amazing people out there that exist that you've never heard of. And if you're just staying at home terrified and you don't ever want to leave your small town, like you're not growing. That's not growth.
No,
that's dangerous.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, we all go through that. So maybe seasonal depression or something where you're happy being stuck. But that only lasts for so long because then you dig yourself into a hole where you can't get unstuck. And then you end up being that closed-minded, small-minded, overly small group of people. And you need to expand. Get in the car and drive 2 hours to a new restaurant. Go to another. I mean, you don't even have to leave your state. I mean, well, hell, we're Midwest. We drive for 6 hours for the hell of it. It's not a big deal. Get out of your comfort zone. Get in the fucking car. Go someplace. Make some new connections. Go listen to a band you never even heard of. Every town's got live music going on. I like I said, I'm not even a live music person. I probably went and watched more bands that I'd never heard of. Didn't even know what genre they were, just because I wanted to get out of the house. And that's fun. It's enjoyable. And plus, it lets people know that you appreciate them. Because there's nothing worse than if you do put yourself out there and nobody appreciates it. I mean, something could be said for, well, okay, so here, my old saying is, my old kind of thoughts on life is rubber chickens and scabs. Okay, this is going to sound stupid. But if you ever held on to a rubber chicken, the big ones like this, they're annoying as hell. And if you're holding on to one, you're the happiest person in the room, even if by default. If you've got a scab, you got a good story to tell. It's probably embarrassing, it's probably stupid, but those are usually the best stories. So for me, there's nothing better in the world than being the happiest person in the room with a good story to tell. Rubber chickens and scabs. But in that same sense, and that's when it comes to especially creating, you got something exciting that you've done that you want to do and you want to share it. There's no better feeling than that. Except there's no worse feeling when you're the happiest person in the room with a good story to tell and nobody gives a fuck. And that's when you need to learn to get out of your comfort zone and surround yourself with people that are going to be supportive and appreciate you the way, otherwise we aren't going to appreciate ourselves. If we're always because man, there's nothing worse than when you're excited about something and somebody Yeah. Man, it happens at all ages. It doesn't happen on purpose sometimes, but man, that's rough. So you got to reach out and find those people that are going to be there for you, whether it's a music community or just your local community.
Well, speaking music specifically, piggybacking off of that, like the same idea with social media and marketing and like getting out there. If you don't do it, people are not going to know who you are. So, like you said about the chicken and the story, like you could have the best music in the world, you could be the best band in the world, but if you don't get out there, if you don't take some risks, if you don't reach out and engage people, it's because that's the thing is like, and it's tough. I get it from both sides because having amazing music and I'm not saying that I have amazing music. I'm just saying like
You
having
do, though.
amazing.
You do have
Thank
amazing
you.
music.
I just don't want this to. Having amazing music is amazing and it's wonderful and it's great. But there are a lot of talented musicians out here that have great bands, that have great singers, great guitarists, drummers, so on and so forth. So what is setting you aside from all of them? Like just coming to the table with amazing music, I might be competing with 99 other phenomenal bands. So what do I have different?
Just in Michigan.
Just in Michigan, just in where I'm in, just in
Yeah.
the Detroit area. Like there's phenomenal bands around here, right? So
I think you're my fifth guest I've had from Detroit, honestly, from the
I'm not
Detroit area.
surprised. Motown, man, Motown, baby, got punk rock. Just Motown's got punk rock. It's kind of ironic, but it's true. There's a lot of great punk rock in our area, and I don't live in Detroit. I'm 45 minutes away from Detroit, but I'm close enough that that's my connection. But I mean, I'm also close to Ann Arbor. I'm close to Toledo. I mean, we're right on the border of Ohio where I
So
live.
many out there. You got to stand out and you got to put yourself out there. And that, like, it makes me sad because every once in a while I'll think about, I'll be listening to like a really good band or a band that's not around anymore. And I'll get thinking, it's like, it's just hard to imagine, wrap your head around the fact that my favorite band I could ever listen to, I'll probably never hear. Because there's so many out there and it's so hard for bands to do it or just not even get the motivation. It's a different skill set, marketing. If you wanted to be a marketer, you'd go to school for marketing. You wouldn't be a musician. Plain and simple. That's kind of why I have a job. That's to try to help artists with their marketing. But knowing how many they just can't do it, they can't get their head wrapped around it, or they're just uncomfortable. That's not their thing. And it just makes me sad thinking of all the songs that I'll never get to hear. Because you can only do so much research on your own as the fan. The band has to do something. And even the bare minimum can get huge results nowadays. Just post every day. Once a day. It's not tough. It really isn't. I mean, and it's anything. And bands always ask, like, well, what should I post? Anything. This conversation. Record this conversation of you asking me what you should post and post it online. That would be funnier than shit. People would probably love it. Get pictures of band practice, whatever you're doing. Just get up in the morning and be like, hey, this is what we got going on this week. They just want to know that you're engaged. And it's real easy for fans to forget if you're not on there. How many times they'll be like, oh, something will come up, like it'll come up on a playlist, or it'll just be listening to music random. Like, God, I haven't heard that in a while. I wonder what that band's up to. And you look, and they haven't posted on social media since February of 2024. They only post they have a new something new coming out, or they don't even when that's happened. You're like, shit, they played an hour from my house 2 weeks ago, and I didn't even know it because they never posted about it. And there's nothing worse than that as a fan than finding out a band you like just played and you had the whole weekend off and you could have went and seen it, and it's not. It literally, like, you could be mad like nobody told me. Someone's job is to tell you. That's what the band needs to do, or their management, or whoever it is, or the venue for that matter. You got to get out there and put yourself out. And yes, like we said, splitting time, and it's tough. But if you're not going to make the effort to get the people out there to see, I don't know why you'd make the effort to make the music in the first place.
And again, that's it's interesting because I've had conversations, arguments, debates with bands that have had that mentality. Like, I don't know why podcasts are such a big deal. I don't know why rig rundowns are such a big deal. I don't know why. And I'm like, because it's something like that you're doing in between shows. Like when you're in a band like our band, where we might have to go a month or two without playing a show, which that's life. That's having kids. That's having a job. Like, there are times we've gone a few months and it sucks. Like, So what do? We practice every week. We take pictures of the practice. We do goofy videos. And in the meantime, I'm hustling and grinding online, supporting other bands because then I'm staying relevant. Like, hey, Chris Cappaulli liked this. Chris Cappaulli shared this. My hope is that they're like, wow, he's still out there doing stuff. They're still doing stuff as a band, you know. I think anything I can do to kind of separate us from the standard is awesome. Like, I love doing podcasts. I really do. They're a lot of fun. It's an opportunity where, and I hate to say it, but I like to talk. So it's an opportunity for me to, like, I have, you know, a soapbox for 45 minutes to an hour where I can share my stories and I can celebrate and make you laugh. And there's maybe some cool things that you never knew about me, because if you just see me play live and you don't talk to me after the show or before the show, and you're not, you know, you're not on social media very often, like a podcast will solve a lot of those questions you might have, because I also like being very transparent and I like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Like, I want by that, if I'm fortunate enough for you to listen to a podcast that I'm on, by the time you leave, I want you to take something awesome away from me. And it's not necessarily educating you on something. It could be, but it's like, wow, he had a really cool story that I didn't know about, you know, funeral homes, or wow, I didn't realize that he literally lives in a triangle with his brothers, where we own like a street corner right now where we grow up. Like, there's so many cool things that, like, you're not going to get to know about the band. And then also, how many times you've heard people be like, I love this band, but like, I've never met any of the members. The members they're very quiet. They're very kind of like, before the show you don't see them. Right at the after the show they leave. They don't talk to anybody. Like, so then you kind of feel like there's that separation of, you know, that's a musician and I'm a fan and that's all we're ever going to be. Like, no, I want you to be able to come and joke around with me about how my college classes are going, or, you know, make fun of me because you know, my brothers always make fun of me because I'm a big Typo Negative fan. Make fun of me about that. Like, I can give you all this different information that we can connect on. That's not just the fact that I'm in a punk band, you know?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, even the bands, like, I get it that some bands, they're on stage because they can't talk in just like this, or even in person. That's not the way they communicate. They use their music to communicate. There's a lot of artists that are like that, not just musicians. I mean, painters, writers, filmmakers. That's how you get them in an interview and they're terrible. They're terrified is what it is. So you've got to put it out there. But I mean, even with that, there you can have the bands. Well, Typo Negative. There you go. It's not like Peter Steele was ever a big, awesome interview. He made them awkward on purpose to stick with his brand. He didn't do meet and greets. He was this big, terrifying fucking monster of a man with just, I mean, I saw him play several times back in the day. So, like, yeah, I mean, his stage presence is insane. He walked by me in Milwaukee one time at the rave, and I'm just like, I think I was like 17 or 18, so I was all 5'7". I'm like, what the fuck was that? But he'd still do interviews and he'd make them awkward because he didn't want to do them, and it stayed on brand. So that's the thing. That could be your gimmick, is that you don't want to be doing this. You can tell your fans, I don't want to be doing this, but I'm told I have to. They'd eat that shit up. They just want to see you between shows, like you said. That's how you build a fan base. Is you want to leave them wanting more, but you got to give them something to keep them interested too.
Yeah, that's a great quote. I like that. Yeah, you got to leave them wanting more, but also give them something to work with. Like, that's a good point.
Because I mean, look at nowadays. I mean, even I've always argue with bands about when it comes to social media for videos. It's under 3 minutes and portrait mode. Because if for YouTube Shorts, it's going to go from getting 5 views to 5,000 views. No joke. That's all the damn difference. If you have it in regular mode, it doesn't go in Shorts, and it's not going to hit the algorithm the way. Yeah, go through and look at any. It's insane, and it's so easy to hit some of these numbers and do stuff like you were talking, like the rig rundowns or any of this stuff. It's not hard to. I mean, algorithms, you're there, you're not. It's really hit and miss. But if you're not doing anything and putting anything out there, nobody's going to care. And that's even if it's a video once a week, that's starting somewhere. Yeah, you should post daily. And sometimes it is hard. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. Yep. I mean, there's days I don't want to do it. It's my fucking job. So, I mean, but there's a perfect reason to use stuff that's like the Meta Business Suite and TikTok Studio, YouTube Studio. You can get in there and you could do all your posts for a fucking month. Get them all scheduled. Then you don't have to do it. Sit down one day a week. Spend 4 hours. You can do all your posting for the entire week, and now you're done. Now you don't have to. Now you only have to make time one day, because in other words, you'll sit there every day for 4 hours trying to figure out what the hell you want to post. Get it the whole week's worth done in one day. Get on there, look into those platforms. They've all got it where you can schedule posts. It's uncomfortable at first trying to figure out how to do it, figure out when to do it, and stuff like that. But it's all hit and miss. Who's going to care? They're seeing something.
Yeah. And you're still doing something. That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
You're still doing something. So even if it doesn't take off or it doesn't go crazy, it doesn't matter. If 6, 7, 8 people saw it and liked it and engaged with it, that's something, that's something. And then you can go back, like you said, like, I haven't seen this band in a while. What are they doing? Oh, wow, they're doing stuff. Like, they're talking about stuff. They're sharing videos. They're like, yeah, there might not be 50 responses, or there might not be the engagement that you're hoping for, but it's something.
Well, you brought up another good point, too, though, is the responses as you get out there and you engage with the fans and in the comments, and not just on your own posts either. That's a big thing for any business, especially in the music industry, is it's not just managing your social media. I mean, you have to run it like you would your own personal page. It's a business page or it's a band page. Well, nothing better than when you like a band or comment on a band's post and they reply to you, or
It's
even
amazing.
even liking the comment, even if it's a small band. It's like, hey, they took the time, because those notifications come up different. You don't always see them. So for them to go through and click comments and go through and look, that's them taking time, and that means a lot. I mean, if you want to really get into social media marketing for a band or a smaller business, get in there and spend an hour a day. If you got, like, when everybody sit there and scrolls by 6, 7 o'clock at night, unless you're a second shifter, your ass is in the couch or in the chair on your phone with the TV playing in the background. That's just what we do nowadays. Take that time and go through like your band page, or I do it through my marketing page, and I go through and I check out everybody's. I go into the different Facebook groups and reply and comment and post. So it's not just your business stuff. So it's giving them a personal look at it too. Because then, yeah, you've got Chris Cappaulli, you've got Cappaulli, and you've got Dads on Couches. Dads on Couches can have its own sense of humor. No one needs to know who's posting from that band page. You could be posting from Dads on Couches making fun of Cappaulli. They don't need to know that you're literally having a conversation with your fucking self. You could run 30 and just watch it blow up. But no one needs to know. Get in there and have fun with it. But you got to get in there and interact on social media from your accounts. You can't post something, then come back the next day and be like, oh, it only got 4 likes, but yet you didn't like a damn thing from that same account. So if it's give a little, get a little. It's the old golden rule. Treat other people as you want to be treated. If you want people to pay attention to your social media posts, pay attention to theirs. Share theirs. That's another big one. Get in there and look in these communities, because usually it's bands posting. Usually it's either bands posting directly or members of the bands posting to the bands media and stuff like that into the Facebook groups or whatever it may be. Get in there and look them both up. Comment on both. Let them know you're paying attention, because I guarantee you they're going to at least give you a like back. And probably, who knows, there might be the network, it might be someone you didn't know you needed to know.
Yeah. Yep. And I think another important piece to that for me too is also when you are responding to somebody, because I also I look at it as if I'm lucky enough for somebody to come on and say something kind or nice about us, right? Or even bad, which fortunately hasn't really happened, but still, sense of urgency, jump on it, because the cool thing about that is they're going to say, wow, they care, they responded right away. And I have found that I've had people be like, I can't believe you responded this quickly. And it's and I get it, you get busy and we have times where we can't, but if you see something pop out, jump on it. Don't sit on it, because you're going to forget.
Oh yeah.
I think sense of urgency is, and again, I was having a conversation with my band the other day, because Dr. Nick just made this really, really cool rig rundown, and it's funny. It's really funny.
It's awesome. It's so fun.
Really good.
I love it.
And I said, I'm glad that we did that, because I'm seeing all these rig rundowns right now on social media, and I'm like, if we don't jump on this now, people are going to move on from that, and then it's going to be the next big thing, and I'm like, now we're behind, So if we can react with a sense of urgency and get out there with everybody else as best as we can. Yes, our videos may not do as well. Yes, we may not get the engagement we're looking for right now, but the hope is that over time, that momentum will keep building and eventually something will take off or blow up. Something will, and not to mention, we're even getting to a point where, because, you know, we love The Boy Detective and we love Middle Out and we love all these amazing bands that we're, you know, connected to and that, you know, we're close enough to, we see them play, we hang out and stuff like that. Like, we're even joking about like doing videos, like going after those bands in a fun way, like as a tribute. Like, why not? Like, that's cool too. Like those band rivalries you see with like ICP and Eminem back in like the 90s and 2000, or might have been 2000s, but that kind of stuff. Like, we can have fun, silly like rivalries too. I know in the Middle Out, DJ loves Red Wings. Dr. Nick loves Red Wings, so that's like that's part of the reason why Dr. Nick has all that Red Wings crap in there. That was a direct
all the bobbleheads,
tribute.
the bobblehead collection.
I love that rundown. That was great.
That was their version of a rig rundown. Actually, was the bobblehead.
It was brilliant, and that's something cool too. Is I said we don't even have to like follow the standard of what everybody else is doing too, because like Boy Detective, their rig rundowns are like drastically different video to video, and I love them, and they're so funny.
Well, here's the best one. I can actually say this because this isn't getting aired until afterwards. So, the one coming up this week, this is funny. This isn't a spoiler. This is fucking great. I love this. So, the Boy Detective American Farts video comes out on Friday. Or will have come out, but it's coming out this Friday. And they filmed the whole thing in the car. And now you got to remember, this is a ska band. It's not comfortable having 7 people in a band, let alone 7 people in a PT Cruiser. So, Nick, instead of a regular rig rundown, he did a rig rundown of the PT Cruiser. So I'm dropping that one on Tuesday before as a companion piece to go along with the American Farts video. So yes, do stuff like rig rundown. Always put your own spin on it. But yeah, the Boy Detective ones were absolutely great. Plus, it may have been the first time I think anyone's ever had the brass section got to do a rig rundown, which was why I wanted them to, though, because, you got to, the horn section never gets to do cool stuff like that. So
and their horn section is phenomenal, and they're amazing people. Oh, my
God, and they're so fun. Their rig rundowns are so hilarious. But no, you're right, though. You got to do it and have fun with it and look around. Do research. Literally look into what is trending. You could just Google what is trending for band promo videos, and it'll give you probably 100 damn ideas. And then look those up and be like, oh, yeah, well, this is how they're doing them. We're going to do it this way. And make sure you put your own spin on it, or purposely do them bad to make it and to be the guy that's making fun of the rig rundowns while still jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, there's so many angles you can go for, but yeah, no, you got to pay attention to what's going on and stay active. Because otherwise, especially when you see those band, like we were talking, you're like, oh wow, they haven't posted in 8 months. It's like, well, that's probably why they never replied to my messenger message about booking them for a gig. So that stuff happens, and you got to remember that. And the way I know I've had it happen where I gotten locked out of. I remember it was one of my apps. Something happened. I think it was I got locked out of Facebook, but I could still use Messenger for some real reason. But ever since then, it stopped giving me notifications. I have to physically go in and look at the app, or it won't even tell me that I got a new message. So you got to pay attention. You got to stay on your social media, even if you're not posting. You got to be checking it. You got to you could be on. You can never post as long as you're interacting. You're still bringing traffic to your band page, or your business page, whatever it may be, or your personal page. Because numbers matter now. Followers matter, especially if you're a band trying to get signed or trying to get some airplay or even get on a podcast. They're going to look and be like, oh, you've got 150 followers. Okay. And then you look like, oh, and none of them interact with your post that you post once every 3 months. So that's not going to be any good for me to have you on my show. Why would I? And that's the thing, you've got to have numbers to make numbers. You got to have money to make money. It's one yada, 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 whatever. We go on and on. But no, like you said, what you said at the beginning, I want to reiterate because I like the way you said it, is you've got to be willing to put more in than you're going to get back. And nowadays people don't do that with the instant gratification. Like, well, I could put in 10%, I'm getting 100 back. Maybe 1 in a billion. I doubt it, but you've got to be willing to sacrifice your time and not get shit back. In other words, the hard work you put in ain't ever going to pay off.
Well, and if you're in just critical thinking, if you're looking at big bands, if big bands, I'm talking like AAA bands are doing this, there's a reason why. It's working for them. So why would you not follow the same trends that these big bands are doing too? It's almost like they're giving you these hints. They're giving you these little like gems of like, hey, maybe rig rundowns are important because I'm seeing X, Y, and Z do it. Maybe getting on podcasts are important because of this. Maybe like it just critical thinking. Look at what's happening when you're going on bands' pages too. Aside from them talking about their upcoming shows and merchandise and stuff, what else are they posting? That's something you can also, like you said, do your research, go on Google, go like just kind of like look at the bigger picture, see what's happening. And I'll be honest, I'm blessed to like, I got to give Benny another shout out. Benny's been very eye-opening working with him. Obviously Benny's in a signed band, so he's on the other side of the fence than I am. But like the advice he's giving to me, I'm not going to poo-poo it. I'm not going to throw it out. I'm going to say, okay, I'm foolish for not jumping on what if Benny says, Chris, I would strongly recommend you do this. If I choose not to do that for whatever reason, I'm being lazy, ego, I'm missing out on an opportunity. And I'm not saying that Benny is right 100% of the time, but obviously something he's I got to be very careful because I could throw in some jabs right now, but I'm not going to.
God,
I love
please,
Ben.
come on.
I love Benny.
Just don't tell him any secrets.
Benny may have a big head and maybe have a swollen head at times.
But do not tell him secrets. He will always leak the secrets. He cannot.
And he knows that. And
Benny's
wonderful because Benny is very self-aware. Benny knows who he is, and Benny is successful because of that. Benny knows what needs to get done to be successful. Benny is involved in podcasts. Benny is involved with so many different nonprofit groups in our area. Like Benny has run for like political office, like locally. Like so, Benny is obviously doing something right. And what Benny always tells me is, and this is something I have always struggled with, and I still do to this day. I do not want to impose. I do not want to overstay my welcome. I am terrified of asking for help and favors and advice because I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be annoying. Benny literally said, this is Wayne Gretzky and Michael Scott. You will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And the people you're talking to are adults. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. Like, well, and then me saying like, but I don't want to be embarrass myself, or I don't want to come across like he goes, Chris, everybody has to ask for help. Everybody has to ask for favors. Now, when the time comes, if somebody does something really nice for you, if the time comes and you don't reciprocate, that's the problem. So it's okay to ask, but if somebody does something kind for you, be there for them when they need help too. And that's where this whole like the community, like putting more in than you take out. And I love that you gave me a shout out for that. That's really cool because at the time I didn't think that was anything, but that's true. Like that's a really, really cool. That's a really cool virtue to live by. Because it's in anything therapy. If you want therapy to work, put more in than you expect to get out, and I guarantee your therapy will be successful, or your chances of it will be highly successful because of that.
Any relationship,
relationships too.
Well, then that's what therapy is a relationship as well. Is a relationship with the person you're speaking with and yourself. So yeah, any relationship. And that's anything. That's even with inanimate objects. I mean, like it's talking about your car. It's talking about your house.
Yeah.
Is it just the people in your fucking life? If you put more into it, you're gonna get results. You're gonna get back. You might always be the one that having to put. You feel like you're putting more in. Sometimes that's just the way life works. But you're putting it. You're taking 4 steps forward. You're taking 2 back. Well, guess what though? You're still making progress. That's that whole. What is it? You do 0.1% harder every day. It might not feel like anything, but by the end of the year, that's a lot. That's a lot. So you gotta be willing to risk a little. And I mean, and it's not like you're wasting time because if you put the effort into your art or whatever it is, and you feel like trying to put it out there is wasting your time, then how is the art? Maybe the art was your therapy or your outlet, and that's fine. But then you don't have a right to complain about nobody listening to it either, because making the art that's more than I can do. I give all artists and musicians, filmmakers, writers all the props in the world. that's already more than I could do. But then don't complain that no one else is seeing if you're not going to be able to put it out there and do that work. Or even hiring someone. That's still doing work. That's still being, proactive. If you don't think you can do it or just don't frickin' want to, then find someone that will for you. Work out a deal with someone. Everybody's willing to barter nowadays, man. When the economy's bad, start bartering, especially inside the industry.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this, and I blow a little smoke up your butt. You just said, like, I have all the respect in the world for all these artists because I can't art. You said, I'm paraphrasing, you said something along those lines. Mm-hmm. Your podcast is phenomenal, and you're an amazing host. So, like, that's art to me, right? What you're doing right now is that's amazing art, right?
I think that's the whole imposter syndrome. We never feel like we deserve what we have.
Well, and then I don't know how well your listeners, your viewers know you, but like I've had opportunities to have conversations with you outside of the podcast, and you're super cool dude, and you're very friendly, you're very polite, you're very supportive, and I can't thank you enough for that. And I just wanted to make, because you were saying earlier, you specifically said like I'm not an artist, and I'm like, but you are, because what you're doing is incredible. You are building the scene in a huge way too, like. Absolutely huge, not being a musician per se, so I just wanted to make sure I made that clear that you're killing it too, buddy.
I played in bands back in the day, but I played in punk grass bands and I played washboards, so I've never been a musician. I've been an entertainer, basically more like if Pauly Shore and Flavor Flav had a kid together and it didn't have any talent, that would be me. I'm a very good mascot though, so I'm happy with that. I'll take it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right.
I think like I said, I think podcasts are extremely valuable. I love this. I love that people are willing to give us opportunities to talk. So again, thank you for that, because this is awesome. I get so I've told you earlier, I get so nervous doing these, and then once I start talking, I'm like, this is really cool, and like I get to talk about stuff that like the people in my friend circle and family stuff, they've all heard these stories. They don't care. So it's cool to be able to to be able to tell somebody something that be like, Chris, you told me that 3 times, bro.
Well, that's like I said, the whole Rubber Chickens and Scabs thing. And that's one of the reasons I love. Actually, I used to have a podcast called Rubber Chickens and Scabs. I haven't done it in 2 years since I moved. But I like having guests on, especially if it's someone, because even I've had people that I've known for years I've had on. And something will trigger a memory that I hadn't heard. And it's so fun because I love listening to people be happy. I just want everyone around me to be happy. So when I can have a guest on and they get talking and think of something they have, or it's like, oh, I haven't told them this story, and I love telling the story. I love that. I love seeing the excitement in my guests and how happy they are. Because like I said, there's nothing better than having a really good story told and having someone that wants to hear it. That's so fun. And especially if you continuously have new people you get to tell the same fun things to. Because especially if it's something cool that, it kind of explains who you are, but you can't just come out and say it. It's not something you can bring up to somebody. So that's what I do love about podcasts, is it gives people a chance, especially if I'm not really set on a time, but we could just let it go, and you get more comfortable as you get going. I've had some guests open up that it was like I couldn't believe it. It's just been incredible. So, but I mean, I wouldn't even have a job if it wasn't for artists like you willing to come on my show, and I truly appreciate it. I was so glad that you came on.
I do too. It means the world, and I'm excited, and I like that. Every podcast that I've been done is similar, but it's also like drastically different. We've touched on some things today that I have not ever talked about, which is so cool. Like to kind of go down like the marketing and social media side of it, because usually when I do a podcast, we talk a lot about like the band, the different members. Which I do want to give a shout out to the rest of my band. I have a phenomenally talented group of people that I trust, I care about. We just got a brand new guitarist in. His name is Tim, and he's killing it. Now, this is somebody I've known for a long time, somebody who's wanted to be in our band, who's actually brought it up multiple times over the course of the past year, like, hey, if you guys ever have a spot. And unfortunately, we didn't at the time, but we do now, and like, I'm really excited to see him play. Like, we've had amazing practices with him, and he's a graphic artist, so he's already like whipping up design ideas for our band. He's just an incredible person. Gage, our drummer, we've only had him in for 6 months now, I think. Like he's still newer, but he's phenomenal. Just He's got amazing chops, great attitude, laid back, chilled guy, positive energy all around. So we have him. Mitch Graves, our guitarist, like he's incredible. He's actually one of the core members of our band. He helped us like get this started and running. We've been friends with him since high school. He's just a phenomenal stand-up guy. And then of course Dr. Nick, which I've talked about him quite a bit. Like I cannot thank them enough. And even the prior members that we have that aren't here today, like they still helped like kind of craft and form, dads today. So I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. I have an amazing crew of people that like I want to share and celebrate and grow with. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to hustle and play the shows that we can play. I wish we were more available. We do have a handful of shows coming up this year, which is exciting. But I know we got to sit down, the first of the year and kind of map out 2026 and figure out how we're gonna go from there. But I had to make sure that they all got plugged in. Like they're just an incredible crew of people, and if you get a chance to say hi at a show, they're super nice and they're super friendly, and just talk to us. Like that's what we're there for. Like we love having those conversations, and they couldn't be on the podcast with me today, which is totally fine. So they are represented, and I am talking for them, but they're amazing people, and like so just come and see us and talk to us. That's what we're there for. Come and talk to us.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I always like. I mean, the bands that I played in, I probably spent more time off the stage than I did on the stage, and I probably booked more shows the half hour after teardown than I did, the weeks leading up to it on social media. Is getting down there and talking to the bands and the fans and stuff like that, because it's fun for the fans to be able to come up and talk after, especially then you get the most realistic feedback, because a lot of the times they've had a few drinks. And they've also just seen your whole show for good or bad. So they're probably going to tell you exactly what they think of you. And it's the best time to get out there and market yourself, because you just put your best in, I hope. And, I mean, it's always good to do that. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you is when marketing ends, but I think I know you're a lot like me. It just never does.
Doesn't. It can't. And that's the thing I want to say to other bands if they're listening. Unless you are... I know that there are terribly shy people. We talked about Peter Steele earlier, and you're 100% correct. I know he would. If I believe correctly, in the book I had read about him, Soul on Fire, he threw up before every show. Like he was terrified to play live. He loved recording in his basement. That was his thing. Like he was not a fan of being out there in the open. And I don't think any of them anticipated being as big as they were. So I get it. There are people that are uncomfortable to have conversations. But if you have the ability, even if you're shy, if you have the ability just to talk to somebody for a second after a show, if they come, and even if it's just a thank you, I appreciate you coming, anything you can do, I promise is going to mean the world to somebody. If somebody is literally waiting to come and talk to you, please say something, even if it's just, dude, it's rad that you came, thank you so much. That's still better than just blowing somebody off or immediately just you get done setting up and you're gone. If you can, stay behind and talk to people. I know it's hard. I know it's not easy for everybody. But I can tell you right now, from somebody who the conversations I've had with my celebrities, the people like Jerry Only of the Misfits, every time I talk to him, my jaw drops, I get real shaky, I get real sweaty. I call him Mr. Only, I don't know what to do with my hands. But it means the world that he'll actually talk to me. Jerry Only, the first time I ever met Jerry Only, he didn't have any makeup on. He was wearing, I believe it was a Steelers jersey. He had his hair back in a ponytail and his glasses. And he talked to me about baseball. Jerry Only, the Misfits, right? You're talking to me about baseball. We didn't talk about, graveyards. We didn't talk about hearses or caskets. We talked about baseball. And that was cool because I was this is a real person. This person that I've, up until this point, was just a myth, a god, this crazy entity. He's a person. Got kids, got a life, and that's amazing. So if you can connect with people, do it in person. If you can't, that's where social media is awesome, because you don't have to have those face-to-face conversations with people. And You can record yourself saying and doing stuff too, which is cool because you can leave personal messages that way, so they can see your face, they can see you talk, they can hear your voice. That's not just singing, because let's be honest, there are singers that sound completely different when they're singing than we're talking. Ozzy, rest in peace. Ozzy Osbourne did not talk like he sang, right? So it was like two different people. It was like two different versions of the same person. So talk to these people. They're incredible people, and they're just like you and me. And if you can, engage with your fan base. If you can't, that's where social media comes into play, because that way at least you can do it without having to have that up close and personal vibe.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think we're about running out of time here. So, Chris, what do you got coming up?
So we have, and I'm going to pull this up because I don't want to goof these up. So we have four shows scheduled right now. We have 4 shows coming up. The first one is in October. It's going to be Saturday the 18th. We live nearby a flower market. They're called Greenwich Gardens. They're amazing people. They're doing a Witchy Woods vendor fair. It's basically like a Halloween thing to support like local vendors and whatnot. We actually played a show back in the summer for them called the Glimmer Gala. It went really well. It was a lot of fun. It did rain halfway through. We got a storm, so a lot of the vendors had to leave early, which sucked. But the show continued, and it was good. It was a success. So we're going back. We're hoping that the weather is going to be better. We do have a handful of bands that are playing. One of the Boy Detective members, Seth, the saxist, he is in Geranium Red. He's going to be playing. We also have Lonesome Skeleton bands, Willow Runners, Rivers End Brass, which Rivers End Brass, Emily from the Boy Detective trumpet, she's in Rivers End Brass. And we have Punk Rock Saves Lives coming out, so we have a good cause coming out too for nonprofit.
Emily, trumpet and accordion. Don't forget the accordion.
And accordion too, which I have not seen her play accordion yet. Yes, I do know she plays accordion. Good call.
I got to see
have not seen her play
4
accordion
different
yet.
accordion players in an 8-day period the other week, because I saw Weird Al on the Friday. And then the following week, I saw Brave the Sea, Boy Detective, and the Dreadnoughts. So I saw
amazing.
4 accordion players. Didn't even go to an Oktoberfest. Explain that to me.
You were in that polka pit. You were sucked in that polka pit.
That was awesome.
So that's going to be the first one. That's Saturday, October 18th. Then the Boy Detective is releasing their new album. They're doing like a 4-day mini tour. We're playing 2 of them. We're playing the first and last days. First is going to be Thursday, November 13th. The last is Sunday, November 16th. What's really exciting for me is this will be the first time that we're playing with Jay Navarro and the Traders. I'm really, really pumped about that. Jay is one of my heroes, one of my celebrities. I remember seeing him as a kid for Suicide Machines. I had a dollar bill autograph from him. I'll never forget, he was the first singer that I ever seen get off the stage and was out in the audience more than he was on the stage, which my brother Benny is notorious for doing. Jay Navarro was singing out the audience, passing his mic around. At one point, he grabbed one of the fans, jokingly, and he wrapped the microphone wire around his neck like he was going to choke him and kept singing. And I was like, this is punk rock. I'm literally seeing history in the making, right? So I'm really excited to play with Jay Navarro and the Traders because I have not had an opportunity to share a stage with them. I also believe Frank White is playing, which is incredible, too. Frank White is going to kill it. And Saban, also amazing as well, which Saban is also playing the Sunday show along with Middle Out, and that's at the Wasteman. So, again, Thursday, November 13th, Boy Detective Tour, that's going to be at Frankie's in Toledo. And then Sunday, November 16th is going to be also Boy Detective CD release. That's going to be at the Wasteman in Warren, Michigan. And Middle Out is playing the Wasteman, and that's going to be a lot of fun, too, and I'm going to screw around with them. I'm going to screw around a lot with them. I love my Daniel P. Stover. It's gonna be a fun night.
Well, you guys, you better both get lots of video and pictures of that one for sure.
And then our last one that we have scheduled is the end of the year. We have where I live. I live in Ida, Michigan, and every year they do this huge light parade, and it's all weekend long. So it's Friday, Saturday is the actual parade, and then Sunday. So there's all these different events. Go and meet Santa Claus. You go down to all the local shops. Really, really cool. The Friday night, they always do like local bands. And we will actually be headlining that show along with the Boy Detective. And then Emily, in addition to being a trumpeter and being in the Boy Detective and playing accordion and being in Rivers End Brass, she's also in a ska band called Wipeout, and they're playing that too. So that's going to be a lot of fun because I haven't seen Wipeout play yet. Benny's caught a few of their shows and said they're amazing. That's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be another ska band that I'm going to get to play with too, and that'll be at the and that's Friday, December 5th. So I'm going to go through the dates one more time because I know I was giving a lot of information. I was all over the place. So Saturday, October 18th, Thursday, November 13th, Sunday, November 16th, and Friday, December 5th. All of those dates are posted on Facebook, Instagram. We have flyers. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Anybody can message me at any time. I can send you information over. But those are going to be our 4 to get us through the end of the year.
All right. Well, that's awesome. And thank you again. I'm so glad you're able to come on. When you reached out to me, I was like, absolutely. I mean, anyone that's as excited and positive as you is always welcome on my show. So, Chris, honest from the bottom of my heart, thanks for coming on. This has been so much fun today. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Lee. You're incredible. I love you. I'm looking forward to doing more fun stuff with you.
Oh, absolutely.
Great.
You ain't going to be able to get rid of me. I've burrowed into the Cappaulli family like a tick somehow. I don't even know how I did it. I think I'm friends on Facebook with all of you. I even got to see I think it was who was it? Maybe it was your dad or something. Because I'm like, who's this? And the first thing I see is childhood pictures of you and your brothers. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure, and I can't thank you enough. I love doing this, so thank you for giving me an opportunity to come on and talk.
All right. Well, thanks again. All right. Well, Chris, thanks for coming on. Everybody, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. As always, like, subscribe, share, give me some feedback, good or bad, preferably good, but I'll take whatever I get. And just as always, have fun, be nice to each other. Because if you're not having fun and being nice, there's no freaking point. We'll catch you next time.